Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, the Yankees wrap up what was a miserable road trip, ended with a cherry on top by getting swept by the Los Angeles Angels of Orange County, Anaheim, California there, and really in which the last two games were just non-competitive at all. A real low point for the season as the Yankees, and you're starting to see some of the frustrations build. We saw it yesterday. Carlos Rendon blowing kisses to some booing fans. Tommy Kahnle, flipping out in the dugout, and the players are upset, the fans are upset, so some bad stuff really coming around the corner here. So we'll get into all that, but before we do, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. So plenty of baseball left, and I'm sure the Yankees are going to have some fight with them at some point. Judges kind of got around the corner, so some good things there, and plus you want to be a podcast subscribe to get additional content not available anywhere else. And also just check out on YouTube, the latest video dropped just the other day. Again, with me just being some optimistic and trying to see at least is there a path for the Yankees to kind of get out of this sinkhole that they're in currently. So just getting back here, so the Yankees get swept by the Angels, and again, it was the first game was the only one that was competitive, and it was this another situation where the Yankee bullpen blew it. They wasted a good start from Severino, who, gutted it out. First 5 innings was scoreless, even got out of a major bases loaded jam. Only blemish he had was he gave up a solo home run, but again, pitched well enough to win the game. So that's really the only really good thing you can take out of this 3-game series here. And, this is a situation where I don't know if you want to blame King, want to blame Boone, but the Yankees were up 3-1. Michael King up there with a runner on against Ohtani. And this is a situation where this has to be one of those unintentional, intentional walks. So you can't go after him. I mean, you want to make like you're throwing at him and you're pitching to him, but you can't give him anything good to hit. It's sort of like you nibble around, you throw low, and if he chases, great. If not, you give up the walk. And even though you're putting the winning runner now at home plate, you still rather have him beat you than Ohtani. But no, King kind of gives him a fat pitch to hit, and Ohtani takes it at left center, I guess you would say. Kind of just went over the wall there, man. And, of course, Ohtani with a bit of a bat flip there, a little, he hit it, but he didn't actually crush it where he threw the bat flip and nevertheless. A little surprised to see Ohtani do that, but, again, that's the way the game is now. And, of course, ties the game at the point. Real just gut-wrenching there. And this is now the second major game by the Yankee bullpen blown on this road trip. Again, they blew the final game there in Colorado. So, the one good thing the Yankees had for them is that they always had the bullpen was always solid. You could depend on that or lead. But now, it's to the point now even the bullpen's undependable. So it's just like there's really not too much positives around this team right now. And the Yankees, in typical fashion, had an opportunity, even with that in mind, to at least take the lead back in the 9th inning. Now you got DJ LeMahieu pinch hitting for Trevino. A nice opposite field hit. Kind of looks like the old DJ a little bit there. Just kind of gives you reminiscence, even though he's batting like 230. Gets on, Peraza works himself a walk in. Peraza in this game, in all 5 at-bats, got on with, walks and singles. So, putting him in the lead spots to look. I mean, that's one good positive for the, maybe a second positive maybe take from this game. Just Peraza does, leading off, getting on base a lot. But then, of course, in typical Yankee fashion, they find a way to blow it. Now, Stanton is up there, so you got 2 runners on. Now, he hits a shot, even though it didn't really get the best swing of it, quite deep to center. But this is where, both you got to blame both DJ and Peraza on this one. They should have tagged up, knowing, all right, if the ball is deep enough, they could have tagged up and then been on in second and third with only 1 out. But no, they kind of all ran ahead as if this was going to dunk in or bang off the wall, which there was no indication it was going to do that, and there was no reason to run ahead. Because look at this. All right, let's just say it is a home run. Okay, great. Just stay on the base, wait to tag up. And if it's a home run, fine. Then you go trot in. Or even if it's going to bang off the wall, fine. You just wait there, just make sure that's going to dunk in. Then you go, and at worst, maybe DJ scores and the Peraza this, maybe stuck on suck-it, and you still first second. That's okay. Go ahead. Instead, they both go without unknowing if this is going to get dunk in or not. Turns out to be a catch in center field, and now they're both on second, third, and they're like, uh-oh, I have to go back, and then I have to run backwards. And then you're kind of stuck in the same situation. 1 out, man on first and second, where it should have been 1 out, man on second, third. And that was probably an opportunity for the Yankees. Even when they blew the lead earlier, they could have gone ahead there because then he had second, third with Gleyber up, and he could have maybe gotten a sacrifice fly or something. And then, but of course, just the way the season is gone, now it's first and second with Gleyber up, and he hits into an inning-ending double play. And the Yankees, it's just finding any way to lose. 2 runners on, nobody out, and they can't even get 1 run in there. And that's where the game is lost. And of course, in extra innings there, Anaheim has a walk-off hit there, and that's just that spells the end of it for the Yankees. And yet another extra inning loss for the New York Yankees. I mean, all these extra inning games, this is a guaranteed loss. It's just, especially on the road. It's just market. So that's always the case with this team. And this dreadful first game. And that's like the only game that was competitive for the Yankees in the series. The other 2 were just absolute sleepers. The second game, they took an early lead with Gleyber Torres with a home run. Great. Maybe we should have done that the night before. It would have been helpful. But the rest of the way, the Yankees, this offense completely went to bed. Haman wasn't the greatest, 6 innings, kind of got it out, but gave up 5 runs there. And the Yankees dropped the second game and again, a real sleep. And the game was just over and it was just quick, not only because this team is just flat. They don't put any rallies together. It's just like maybe somebody gets a home run like there. And with all these new pitching clock rules and stuff, these games were over 2 hours, it seems like, 2 hours and change because the offense really puts up nothing. And they dropped the second one. And the same thing with the third game is more or less the same. Rondon, in his third start of the season, just an absolute flat. Put the Yankees in an early 4-0 hole. He really gave the Yankees nothing. They ended up losing this game 7-3. Stanton hit a home run or wowee, like that. But then this offense gave really nothing, no rallies, no nothing like that, no fight, no competitive. And Rondon, and of course, this is the big news, obviously coming off the mound there. And I guess there's plenty of Yankee fans in California, which is always the case when the Yankees do go out there. And I guess give him, I guess, a chunk of fans behind the dugout first base side there, giving it to him, and he kind of blew a kiss at them going off the mound. I mean, we've seen worse. I remember back, I think it was 95, Jack McDowell giving the Yankee Stadium crowd the middle finger. So it could have been worse, but obviously, Boone talked to him after the game. It was just more his frustration. Just, I guess he just wanted to do that versus, do something else, yell out or give a middle finger. So not really the classiest move. And then, of course, I mentioned Canely, frustrated as well. Again, he kind of blew up on the Yankees as well. Remember the Colorado game where Clay Holmes gave a grand slam? Yeah, Clay Holmes gave a grand slam, but it was Canely who put the runners on and loaded the bases up for that to happen. So not a good road trip for him as well. So a lot of these things is not going well in Yankee land right now. They find themselves 3.5 games out of the final wild card spot there, 9 games out of the AL East. And again, just kiss that goodbye. It's not happening. This team does not look like has any shot of putting that type of run together. I'm not saying give up on everything. There's still the wild card in the mix. And that's just kind of to be the Yankees' avenue to get in. Now, Judge on the field again in Anaheim, doing some on-field drills, running the bases a little bit. So working his way back. Okay. Still no timetable with that. And when the Yankees come home, they face the Royals for 3. And this is going to be the end of a real soft part of the schedule for them, which they did not take advantage of at all. So Royals coming in, the Yankees will be off Thursday and then host the Royals. And this is a Royal team that is 41 games under 500. I'm going to repeat that, 41 games under 500. But of course, watch the Yankees drop 2 out of 3 against this and struggle for offense against basically a double-A team. And right now, the Yankees look like the double-A team right now. It's just kind of was more of the same. Again, a little positives. He's going to like Peraza up there, obviously with Donaldson gone, for the foreseeable future with the torn calf there where, again, it's going to give Peraza an opportunity. So, again, if he could be the type of guy who gets on base, high base percentage like that, that's what the Yankees need. More guys getting on base and this less, one and done. Hey, if I hit a home run, great. If that, I don't do anything. So, and this is kind of the Yankee offense right now. If you don't have 4 or 5 different guys hitting a home run, they struggle to put up like 8 runs. They just can't do it. Just one guy. All they do is if you look at the second, third game, that tells you all about this Yankee team. You get Gleyber with his one solo home run early on, and boom, that's all the Yankees score for the entire game. Lose 5-1, and then the Yankees, down 6-0. Stanton gets a home run, a wowee to put a run on the board. Now the Yankees did score 2 more runs later on, but at that point they were just so behind. It's just the garbage runs, and then the Yankees drop 7-3. So that's the only way for the Yankees to win. You need 3 or 4 guys to hit a home run, and then you have to hope one of those home runs is like a 2 or 3 home run homer, and maybe then the Yankees will have a shot. Other than that, again, no rallies, just being stupid on the base pads like that first game against the Angels there. And that's just basic baseball. Just, tagging up, knowing to tag it up, knowing to go. It's just so this team is just really completely out of whack right now. There's really not much more to say. I don't know what's going to go on. This just seems there's going to be just another reckoning around the corner here. They made the big move, got rid of the hitting coach and bring in Sean Casey. Again, I'm not going to blame him on this. There's only been a handful of games he's been here, but I just don't see how he's going to turn these guys around like that. So he's got to hope when Judge comes back, and I kind of mentioned this on the YouTube episode, I think it does help everybody. It's just the way he is in there. I think he makes Rizzo better. He makes Stanton better. He makes DJ better. And I just think he livens up the team there. And they just need that shot in the arm right now because it's really dragging. And you see the frustration. You see the frustration from the fans. I would say, look, if Cashman had maybe 1 or 2, even 2 years left on his deal, I could see how maybe then finally canning him just to show something. But I just can't see that happening right now. And I don't know if that would even make the difference. It's just, you would have to get rid of Cashman, and you have this guy still have 3 years on his deal. I just don't see him paying a guy for the next 3 years to do absolutely nothing. And I don't, again, it would be a sudden move. I don't think that would make sense anyway. I just don't see any move with Cashman unless we're into next season. And if we're seeing the same thing where it's like, all right, you have 2 years left in the deal, but this has gone on too far enough. I got to show something. So goodbye, Brian. But see, I just don't see that happening so far the remainder of this season right now. Know that I'm calling that should happen, but something needs to happen here because this is this team is really nosediving right now. And as I mentioned before, the schedule is just going to get much tougher. You have AL East foes that you're chasing like Baltimore and Tampa coming up. You got Houston, who I know they're not the same Houston as maybe a year ago, but there's still a Yankees foe, and they just seem to typically have the Yankees number. Whatever pitcher they throw out there seems to shut the Yankees down. And of course, got an in-league matchup against the Atlanta Braves, again, tough NL East team. Just asked the Mets on that one. So the Yankees had the soft part of the schedule, didn't take advantage of it. Now it gets tougher, and I just don't see them playing up to the competition. If you can't beat the Rockies, you can't beat the Cubs. How are you supposed to beat Baltimore? Is again having a good season, and Tampa, who just having a good season, and just always seems to have the Yankees number as of late. So that's episode. Not good. A lot of miserable stuff going on. Small tinker of hope, once Judge comes back, but we just still don't have no timetable on that. And he's got to cross their fingers that they could beat an awful, awful, awful Royals team. Friday night is the Nestor Cortez bobblehead. I could really care less about that, but I don't want to see any of these bobbleheads. Frankly, just the way this team is going right now. So that's the episode. We'll catch you on the next one.